Hey everyone, this is Grady from SUBOVERLAND, and in this video I'll be doing a walk around of this 2001 Chevy Suburban with the 8.1 V8. Let's get right into it. This is a 2001 Chevy Suburban 3/4 ton, 4-wheel drive with 8.1 liter, big block. So these are pretty rare to find still with the 8.1. They didn't make them for very long, I believe 01 to 06. I don't think they did this one in 2000. So this is the first year I believe, of the 8.1 in a Suburban. But these are great. I absolutely love the big blocks. I have a 7.4, a 99 to 7.4. I've driven a bunch of these. We've owned an 8.1 as our tow rig years ago, and it was great. And yeah, they're just a great vehicle. The 8.1, I think spec-wise, it's right around 300 horse, and I forgot the torque spec, but if you're wanting to tow heavy, this is your best option for a Suburban. Now, if you're towing a ton and, a 1-ton Duramax dually is going to be your best bet as far as GM goes. But as far as the Suburban goes, this is about as good as you're going to get. 8.1, 3/4 ton. This particular one has full float rear end, so it's a 14-bolt full float. And, I mean, that's one of the best axles you can possibly get. And then everything else is just with the 3/4 ton drivetrain, very similar to the trucks. So, again, just a great drivetrain, does really well. The 8.1 in particular is really what this particular client wanted. He went through a couple different options, but and he's going to be towing, his Jeep with this thing, and so he wanted to have the most towing capability as possible. And this is it. I believe this one has 410 gearing, has a G80 rear end, and it's optioned out really nice. When this was new, this was probably the most expensive Suburban you could get in 01. It's got leather, heated seats, power everything, and on top of that, it's the 3/4 ton with the 8.1. So I'd put my money on this was the most expensive Suburban built in 01. Now, as far as the build goes, we did the base package. So we did the Bilstein 5100 shocks, level it out in the front, and then this client wanted to do a particular tire. So these are actually a Duratrack. I don't know if you guys have heard of these. These are a great tire. I've used them in the past on other applications, but it's a Goodyear Wrangler Duratrack RT. So it's a little bit more aggressive with the RT than an AT. So it goes AT, RT, MT. If you guys aren't familiar with what that means. And yeah, it's just, these are, I don't put them on all of the vehicles because, they are quite expensive. And so, but this client really loves them, and so we can do that too. So keep that in mind. If you're doing your build and you want a particular tire, just let me know. But we usually use like a Kenda or a Falcon for our base tire. These are a 285/75/16 10-ply tire, just like we always do. There's a full-size spare also. We still need to wax this thing up, so it's a little dirty on the outside. So we started that with the base. So this is a base with some options. Some of the options he opted to do was the baseline rack up top that you can see there. And then what else did he do? Flowmaster exhaust. And I think we also did, oh, we did like a block heater. Now I'm starting to remember a little bit. They're all blurring, all these builds. But you know, block heater, baseline rack. I think that's about it. Now also with this one, we did, this particular client wanted it to be extra clean for his wife, he mentioned, wanted a carpet kit done. So we did the carpet kit, and then the front seats are fully, you know, reupholstered. Now some builds, you know, it's kind of a case-by-case basis, but in this case, he just wanted it all done. So we did all new seats, upper and bottom, new foam and everything, and then a carpet kit down below. So it's got all new carpet, and yeah, I think it turned out really nice. You can see this thing's just in really good shape. Now, when we first got it, we had to do quite a bit of things, and there's just like a lot of little cosmetic things on this vehicle that we had to do. I'm trying to remember all of them, but I thought I'd just get my list out here and we can go over what we did with this thing. There's a lot of cosmetic stuff, like I mentioned. We did visors, so you know, these guys right here, we did both of those. So I remember I went to the junkyard and just kind of really found, you know, a lot of good parts. This one had a cracked dashboard, which was odd. So we have a parts car that we swapped out the dashboard with. What else on here? Blower motor. I remember now the blower motor. Windows, 3 out of the 4 were not operating, so we needed to do a lot of window regulator and door panel type stuff. Just a lot of little cosmetic things. What else do we got here? Bump stops, the carpet kit, ABS brake light. If you guys are familiar with the 2000-2002 models, they had the ABS module underneath the vehicle, and the solenoids would, the solder always go bad, and so I'm constantly doing these. If I get a 2000 to 2002, I just cross my fingers, but more often than not, I have to replace, or I have to remove the module and then get it soldered for a guy here locally that does it. But man, they are a bear to get out, and it's not fun. But we do it because, you know, I don't want someone to be worried about a light coming on the dash and all that stuff. It doesn't really affect the functionality of the car because it's so intermittent. But anyway, so if you come across that is what it is. Intermittent ABS and brake light coming on at the same time. It is your ABS module, and it needs to be resoldered. What else do we do here? Third row seat. This had this weird, janky third row seat, like out of a Ford Excursion or something. It was random. So we replaced that with the real third row seat. What else here? This one needed some paint, so we took it to our paint guy. The hood was repainted along with some other body panels to just, you know, clear coat and things like that. What else on this? Just a lot of little cosmetic. Like I said, the interior we completely redid because the client wanted to go, you know, above and beyond here. So yeah, these are so fun to drive. I know I've said this a ton on the channel about the 8.1s, but I'm serious. Like, if you haven't driven one of these things, I would highly suggest it. If you see one for sale locally or whatever, go take it for a spin. These are fun. The 3/4 ton Suburbans, they're great in general. And then when you have the 8.1, man, it's just over the top. So we're sending this thing off next week. It's been a fun build. It's taken quite a bit of time. We've had some little setbacks, and the paint took a long time, but clients, you know, really, you know, happy to come, or excited to come pick this up. Again, he'll be towing, you know, with this, and it's an 8-passenger, so no interior build. But I also wanted to say, if you guys haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I'd really encourage it. I know a lot of you haven't, and that's fine. You know, it's a free country, but it really helps out when you subscribe to the channel. It just across the board. I make these weekly, and the more people that are subbed, the more people I can help. And then, being monetized, the more subs, the better, right? So if you sub, you're directly helping, me and the business. So I really appreciate everyone that has subscribed over the years. And if you haven't, just smash that like button and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you are interested in a Suburban, a sub-overland build, please feel free to reach out. You can either comment below, or you can hop on our website, suboverland.com, and we can have a contact form there, and we can get the conversation going. We have a lot of good inventory still, and this last week a lot of it did get reserved, but we still have a lot of good inventory here available for you guys to look through, and I'd love to send you over some quotes and hopefully get you some good Suburbans. But we got to keep these things alive. And again, thanks again for all of you that subscribe and watch over the years, and we'll catch you on the next video.